This is a mock interview conducted by ForumIAS Academy at New Delhi. The interview panel includes eminent professors, retired bureaucrats, and other luminaries. The objective of the program is to acquaint the candidate with the format and expectations of the personality test conducted by UPSC.
Excuse me, sir.
Come in.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Please sit down.
Thank you, sir.
You are S. Prashanth,
Yes, sir.
right? Introduce yourself.
I'm Dr. Prashanth. I'm from Chennai, Tamil Nadu. I've done my graduation from the Madras Medical College, Chennai. I've done my schooling from D.A.V Group of Schools, Chennai. I love playing chess, swimming, and I'm part of organizations such as the Indian Medical Association and NGOs which run drug de-addiction drives.
While summing up, I'll tell you something.
Yes, sir.
Achha, now, listen to my question. What is the major problem of Chennai? There are many problems. What is the major problem of Chennai? And what measures government is taking to tackle it? And is it adequate?
So one major issue has been about urban flooding. Especially we had the recent floods which came last December due to incessant rains of more than 30 centimeters. And with respect to the measures that have been taken by the government, one is that there have been encroachments which have been identified, and areas in the outskirts of Chennai near Tambram have been regulated with only houses in the first floor. No houses shall be constructed at the ground floor. The second thing is about involving NGOs which they've done for community welfare and rehabilitation. The third thing is about desiltation of the drainages that have been undertaken just before the monsoons to prevent urban flooding, sir.
There may be 3-4 problems. I asked you which one is the major problem in Chennai. You think this is the major problem?
Sir, considering that we have been having floods year after year in Chennai and almost the whole of the city has been sunk every single time, I feel this is one very big issue with Chennai, sir.
What do you think about drinking water problem? Water scarcity?
Yes, sir, there are incidents of water scarcity within the space of Chennai as well. And recently, we do face issues of water scarcity, especially drinking water supply. And, sir, as far as the measures for drinking water supply are concerned, in order to decrease the wastage, water meters have been installed in every single household. And rainwater harvesting has been a mandatory practice with respect to not just Chennai, but the whole of Tamil Nadu as such. There are incidents where those practices have not been taken up judiciously, because of which there is an acute water scarcity. And the same has been strictly enforced right now by the government.
The basic thing, you don't have water resources, only your sea is there, Bay of Bengal. Now they are converting sea water into drinking water, but the taste is very bitter. How successful is the scheme of converting the saline water of the sea or the Bay of Bengal into drinking water?
Sir, as far as the desalination projects that have been taken up by the government are concerned, there have been models replicated of Israel, wherein there are teams and expert committees constituted by the government who have gone to Israel and taken up project revision of it, which they have replicated here as well. But with respect to the efficacy of such desalination projects, it has not been able to completely resolve the issue of dissolved solutes within the solvent, because of which the TDS has been increased. So these reasons have again led to a failure of the project, and the government is revising as such, sir.
Now I am coming to a very core issue. Seeing your career graph, you are from the medical science, you have done your MBBS, somewhere you got some gold medal, Madras Medical College, Dr. Sri Ramchandra University or something. And after having such a glorious career and such a successful culmination of your things, Why did you prefer to come for the civil services? Now it is your second attempt. People still in India, in the rural areas, they consider doctors as demigods. I have seen myself, I worked in tribal districts, demigods. After achieving such a big thing and with such expertise, why you want to come into these things? What allures you to come into civil service? Be truthful to yourself.
So my impetus to join MBBS was more because my family members were affected with cancer and I was to be the first doctor in the family. And within the MBBS as well, I've always had a deep interest in policy making, and that explains my association with the Indian Medical Association as well, in which I've been able to aid the National Medical Commission with respect to UG rules. And it's the only career in civil services that can help me give a policy making business at a very young age. And also, so I believe that as a doctor, I'll be able to cater to 70 to 80 patients a day. Well, as a civil servant, I'll be able to contribute to make a change in the lives of at least 1 million+ population. So I believe that my medical education knowledge can be put to better use within the civil services, which the HOTA committee also has observed that we need more specialists and technocrats into the civil services.
Maybe that in your service career, if you get into, you may not be posted in health and family welfare department. Then how your medical knowledge will come to help you as a bureaucrat?
Sir, in the initial phase of my career, I believe that as a district magistrate or as a subdivisional magistrate, I'll be able to contribute to the public healthcare within the particular district. And even if not within the IAS, the other revenues such as the police service or the revenue as well will help me to contribute in whatever capacity I can.
Do you think we people, we didn't have medical EA, though my father was a doctor, we couldn't become successful in bureaucracy because we didn't have medical experience?
Sir, the IAS believes in excellence in action as its motto, and every bureaucrat strives for the same and thrives for it. But as far as a subject expertise is concerned, I only believe that I will be able to contribute a little better, considering that I've been into the terrain for, say, 6 years odd now, and the loopholes of the system are relatively better known at this point of time, sir.
There is a controversy between generalist and specialist. When we were there, we used to go to the hospital, find out if the patients are in the bed, whether they are given proper care as a generalist. We were not prescribed medicine for meningitis and others. Even we used to visit meningitis areas, droplet infection. We used to, at that time, sulfadiazine was there, it was a prophylactic. We used to take it and go. It doesn't make any difference because rather, specialists interfere a lot with the administration. We generalists, we know how many beds are there, where the hospitals were there. We don't tell the CDMO how to treat a patient because they are expertise. Anyway, now coming, you are telling you are a polyglot. How? How many languages you can speak?
Sir, I can speak the languages of Hindi, Tamil, English, Telugu and Malayalam partly, and Marathi few words, sir.
Fluently you can speak?
Yes, sir.
Good. In this recent book fair, this New Delhi International Book Fair, World Book Fair 2024, there was a theme. The theme was Linguistic India, a Living Tradition. If you are asked to speak a few words to this narrative, how will you do it? Tell me. Linguistic India, a living tradition.
India believes in the policy of unity, not uniformity, and diversity, not differences, which has been again envisaged as in the constitution by itself, which holds 22 scheduled languages alongside an official language and an associate official language. And considering the diversity of languages that we do have a population that speaks multitude of languages, especially considering that Hindi is spoken by the majority of the Indian population. And we do have languages like Tamil, which happen to be considered as the oldest language, not just in the country, but also in the globe, spoken as mentioned by our Honorable Prime Minister. And the same thing applies to other languages as well. And though Sanskrit also happens to be a culturally significant language. Though there might not be people who speak it per se, but there are people who practice it and still read in our textbooks, and the holy Vedas are an institution which are still being followed in itself, which explains the diversity of languages that we have and what we espouse in our cultures.
Please take over, Tomar.
Thank you, sir. Prashanth.
Yes, sir.
Nenu ninnu kalavatam anandanga undi. Can you translate that into a Malayalam?
Sir, you had the pleasure of talking to me.
In Malayalam. You are from Tamil Nadu. Whatever my understanding is of the southern India, I think Tamilians are one of the most culturally affectionate people who have more affinity towards culture, to the extent that it might be counterproductive to the idea of nationalism. To what extent do you agree with this statement?
Sir, there might have been some incidents which might have come up to the opinion which you had rightly formulated, sir. But then I strongly do believe that people from Tamil Nadu also espouse the culture of nationalism within them, and that is evident in multiple circumstances when even we were part of the national freedom struggle, and Tamil Nadu was a major contributor to social justice movement as well, and we have been having leaders who've taken part in the national politics per se as well. Apart from the culture as well, sir, we do have Dakshin Bharat Hindi Prachar Sabhas, which espouse the cause of Hindi within the state, and most of the population welcome people from other states, which is why it is rightly said, Vandore 𝐏𝐻𝐿𝐴𝐻𝐵𝐻𝐿𝐴, which translates to welcoming people from other states to the particular state of Tamil Nadu or Chennai. So I completely believe that there might be a few incidents on the contrary, but by and large, the state of Tamil Nadu espouses nationalism.
Let's talk about Jallikattu.
Yes, sir.
So there was a declaration a couple of years back by the court that Jallikattu is banned. Yes?
Yes, sir.
Then what happened in Chennai itself, the capital of the state?
So there were certain protests against the judgment of the Honorable Supreme Court of India, and the Union government had revisited the judgment and made laws in order, or rather amendments to the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act, because of which the Jallikattu...
After the protests. And
Yes,
those
sir.
protests were very violent as well.
Yes, sir.
Let's talk about, you're a polyglot, let's talk about linguistic culture in Tamil Nadu. So if at all, we are talking about in education sector, we are implementing 3 language formula, or let's say 2 language formula plus 1 if at all it is optional. So don't you think there are a lot of skirmishes, lot of cultural disorientedness between the idea of, let's say, the Hindi heartland and the Tamilians?
So with respect to the 3-language policy, it is the policy of the government of Tamil Nadu not to inculcate, and not complete will of the people of Tamil Nadu to learn Hindi rather. The very fact that people have been learning Hindi as a second language, which also includes me, in fact my whole family, my mom, my dad, and generations together, we've been learning Hindi. And there are people who take up courses in the Dakshin Bharat Hindi Prachar Sabha. So it is not the case that the people are against the learning of new languages, be it Hindi or any other language. And it is a policy decision of the government not to implement the 3-language policy.
All right. You're from medical science background.
Yes, sir.
What is this preclinical, paraclinical and clinical? What is the difference?
So preclinical subjects are subjects of anatomy, physiology and biochemistry. The paraclinical subjects belong to microbiology, pathology, pharmacology and forensic medicine. And with respect to the clinical subjects, that is the final year, where we learn medicine, surgery, obstetrics and gynecology, pediatrics, the fields of dermatology, radiology, orthopedics and so on.
And what are these clinical trials?
So clinical trials are into 4 phases, and the 4th phase happens to be the post-marketing phase, or and the first 3 phases are the preclinical trials which happen with respect to animal or mouse models, and then we have the trial which happens on humans on a smaller scale. The 3rd one is the marketing, and the 4th being the post-marketing phase.
And clinical trial also happened during the vaccine generation manufacturing.
Sir.
Yes?
Yes, sir.
So there have been reports that while vaccine in India was manufactured, and there are also cases related to the recent electoral bonds data that is out, that there have been certain lapses, lacunas in those clinical trials for vaccines. Are you aware about these lacunas?
Yes, sir. There have been issues that the vaccine was fast-tracked with respect to the clinical trials, and most of the phase 4 and the phase 1 trials were skipped, leading to just minimal trials on humans per se. But then, sir, considering that there was a pandemic looming large with widespread global disaster with respect to human lives that were lost, more than at least 1 million lives were lost within India alone, and the whole globe per se, it was more than that, at least a crore. So considering that there was huge destruction in front of our eyes, we had no other option but to fast track the process and take up the issues of compulsory licensing for the vaccine.
Okay, my last question to you. Say I am a patient and I have come to you that I have low vitamin B12. What would be your recommendations?
So I would first do a clinical examination for anemia per se, which is the most common manifestation of vitamin B12. The second thing would be a diagnostic test to check the vitamin B12 assay. And considering confirmation of the vitamin B12 deficiency, I would give you a shot of the vitamin B12 injection and also prescribe you certain food items which you can take up for vitamin B12. If you are a non-vegetarian, I would prescribe that you take up more liver or meat, which can help. And if you are a vegetarian, then curd will be the first prescription alongside green leafy vegetables such as spinach.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Ma'am.
Thank you. Prashanth, so most of your schooling has been in Maharashtra or in Chennai?
It has been in Chennai, ma'am.
In Chennai. Okay. Because I see that your home state has been listed as Maharashtra.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, you've given 5 to foreign service. You don't want to serve India abroad?
Ma'am, it's not that I didn't want to serve India abroad, but then there was a personal reason that my dad passed away when I was in class 12 and my mom is alone. And considering that I had to take care of her as well and she would like to spend a couple of years here in Chennai, it might, or rather in the country, I would not be able to take her along to different countries. So that was a personal reason behind it, ma'am.
Okay. Now, you've also written that you were a winner of National Young India Challenge.
Yes, ma'am.
So what do you think are the challenges facing Young India?
Ma'am, with respect to Young India, if I were to start with the school population, it is about education and it is about the pedagogical measures that are to be taken and the gross enrollment ratio, which has definitely drastically improved to more than 90% with the Right to Education Act. So education would be with respect to the school population. With respect to youngsters, it is the issue of unemployment. Though there has been a decrease as per the interim budget to 3.2%, still it looms large and there are avenues where we need more job and it has been termed a jobless growth. So the third thing is about youngsters who fall at the later age groups between 25 to 29, where there could be issues of drug addiction as well due to unemployment or other issues. So the health issues are the third topic, ma'am.
Now, when we say drug issues, so you've also been a member of Helping Hands NGO Drug De-Addiction Drive. How far have we, what are the reasons why are the youngsters increasingly falling prey to drugs?
Ma'am, the first one would be the peer pressure, naturally that leads to it. The second thing being, irrespective of peer pressure, there are also non-state actors like which propel the institution of narco-terrorism, which leads to the black hole syndrome. So that would be the second. The third thing is about parental role models, where they can, where they learn from parents, be it about tobacco use or alcohol consumption. The fourth thing is about issues of unemployment, which again lead to drug addiction, ma'am.
Okay. Now, let's say you get posted in, you're selected and you get posted in Tamil Nadu, which is also your first preference. So what are the issues you would like to solve in the state?
Ma'am, the first thing that I see would be with respect to the health sector, where there is a rural-urban divide as well. Though the state has a robust health system, this has been a perennial issue. The second thing is about ravaging areas of unemployment, because that again has been an issue with at least 5% of the population still unemployed in Tamil Nadu. The third thing is about issues of social justice, where there are still caste atrocities that have been happening. Like recently, a temple was built separately for a particular caste in Tiruchi. So these are certain issues that I would take up, ma'am.
Okay. Now, when we say unemployment, so would you focus on unemployment first or education?
Ma'am, education per se has been the focus with respect to school population, though the gross enrollment ratio in higher education has been at 42% for women. So I would try to increase the gross enrollment ratio in the higher education institutions, prevent brain drain with respect to people who move out of the country, which stands at least 6,500 every year with respect to the medical students. And once that is stopped, improving research and education, all the three of them taken together will help us tackle unemployment as well, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
So right now you are working?
No, sir, I'm not working.
Okay. So after your, when you graduated from your...
So June 2022.
Okay. So how you became this national president of Indian Medical Association? You are serving now?
Sir, pardon?
You are serving, doctor?
No, sir, it was in my internship. So right now, I'm the co-convener for the Junior Doctors Network in the Indian Medical Association.
So you are not national president?
That was during my internship, sir.
That was during your internship?
Yes, sir.
Okay, tell me one thing, since you are mentioning this ethics, bioethics and all. So, there are so many ethical issues in corporate hospitals, right? So what are the ethical issues?
So one is about the corporatization of healthcare sector, where doctors are given certain targets about diagnostics or the pharmaceutical prescriptions that they prescribe. So there are certain dichotomy practices that occur due to this. So that is the major issue with respect to corporatization. Second, there are registered medical practitioners being approached by the medical representatives of pharmaceutical companies, who again put forth certain conditions for sponsoring CME programs and so on.
Okay, good. So coming to these health reforms, even today also most of the persons, most of the affluent people or any politician, they first go to private hospital. They don't go to any government hospital, right?
Yes, sir.
So what is the basic thing we are missing?
Sir,
Why the situation is like that?
Yes, sir. The affluent population have been visiting private hospitals more so because they feel that there is a longer waiting time at the government hospitals. Also, that they feel that there could be a lack of quality service with respect to the government hospitals. So these two have been major factors for the move towards
But
private
government
healthcare.
is investing a lot in the government healthcare infrastructure, right?
Yes, sir.
So why the improvements are not taking place?
Sir, there are improvements that have been taking place both at the level of graduates coming out. We right now have 108,000 medical seats in UG level. And with respect to the healthcare sector as well, we have the National Health Mission working. And there are pioneer schemes, be it the 𝐼𝐸𝐻 Bharat Yojana, which have all bolstered people to take up government hospitals. And we do have foreign clients still visiting the government hospitals at our institute. We had Bangladeshi nationals as well. So there are improvements in the government health sector.
Which institute you are talking?
So about my particular government hospital of the Madras Medical College.
Okay.
With respect to the primary healthcare as well, we do have
Yes, no doubt,
doctor-patient.
definitely with time, no improvements will take
Yes,
place,
sir.
but not at the pace which we want, right? So what are the issues?
So with respect to the issues, there is a rural-urban divide between doctors. More doctors prefer to be in urban areas than rural areas. So that's one. The second thing is about scaling the health infrastructure per se at the primary healthcare level. We don't have health ATMs or certain diagnostic methodologies in primary healthcare sector. The third is about the issue of roping in technology within healthcare. We've not been able to rope in artificial intelligence at the rate,
That's what
magnitude,
I'm
and
asking
scale.
you. Why it is not happening?
So one is the resistance from doctors as well to rope in technology, where they feel it could lead to hampering of the skills that are learnt or a wrong diagnosis. So that's one. The second thing is also about the health infrastructure, which has not been given the financial bolt. We spend around 1.8% of the GDP on health, which is relatively very low as compared to the developed countries. The model of insurance in our country is not very famous. It is only the government scheme which runs the medical insurance as compared to the US, where everyone has a Medicaid. So these are certain issues, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.